Yo, I'm Spiff Ellis. Welcome back to Markham Mondays. We are now entering episode 5 today, as of today. If you've been watching the series, if you've been following, supporting, subscribing to the YouTube, leaving comments, everything, if you've been just supporting the movement, I appreciate you. Today, we're going to celebrate Black History Month with a cultural icon, a legend, somebody you should all know. You'll know who it is by the time we get to the actual drawing. If you can guess it from just a sketch, you can leave a comment down below as soon as you see it on Instagram or YouTube, wherever you're watching this. So today we're just going to be using the skin tones as usual. We got E11, E00, E11, E13, E15, and E18. And we're also going to be using the neutrals, the gray, N0, N2, N4, N6, and N8. Pretty much all you really need. Or you can use a cool gray pack, which is also available at the art stores. You're gonna be paying about $50 for these packs. Also, a necessity, very essential. You need to have a mechanical pencil. This will be about $8. Always need a kneaded eraser. Kneaded eraser is very important. If you don't have this, you're gonna have a lot of trouble when it comes to your marker work. It's very easy to use. It doesn't leave shavings. And it's very flexible for the corners that you can't get. When you have you try to erase something, that's in a real tight space on paper. Definitely gonna need a marker to outline the actual sketch before you add the colors. I'm using this Tombow ABT water-based N15. It's about $3. You get this from your local stores, local art stores as well. You know what I mean? Always need your sharpener of any kind, metal or plastic, doesn't matter. You need to have your 2B pencil as well. 2B pencil is the one I prefer you guys to use if you're gonna start illustrating with markers. It's a lighter pencil, and the lead isn't too hard to erase. So these are definitely things that you need. All right, so definitely excited for you guys to see this one. I'm definitely excited for you guys to be here. Thank you, and stay tuned. Bless.
All right, welcome back to Markham Mondays. You made it to the show, the tutorial, whatever you want to call it. This is episode 5. It's Black History Month, so you already know we have to do something for our people, something dope. Right now I'm laying down the sketch. Just the basic shapes. You always want to start with shapes. Notice the head is more of a sphere with the sides cut off. And you want to show different measurements of where the eyes go, the nose. You want to indicate these things. It's easy. It's easier to draw that way because it's more of a blueprint to your art. You're laying down basically like a blueprint, a skeleton, just something that you can trace over. There are certain artists, there's times that I do it as well, but it's unnecessary most of the time to just draw straight in and draw the ears and the face and the hands and the shoulders. You can do that if you really want to, but honestly, I feel as though it might be better for you to show proportions and draw the shapes. Like even the best artists, even the most, respected artists, from our time and, even previous years, it's like they use that. It's just to show form, don't be afraid to show form. Right now I'm laying down the eyebrows, just trying to get the features right. I spent like a longer time on the sketch part because I'm a perfectionist, and I'm not ashamed of it. I just want it to be perfect. So I sharpened the pencil multiple times because I felt like the lead just kept breaking. It wasn't breaking, it just felt like it kept like shaving down on one side, and then the other side was kind of like poking out too, so it was giving me like these weird lines. So I had to go back and fix that, sharpen it again. And you see I'm sharpening it right now. So basically it's like this is the part where you want to capture the essence of the person that you're drawing, the reference. I use the reference for this. It's in front of me on my iPad. I use the reference for this one. Like I said, this one isn't this one is special too. This is a black figure, you know, a black excellence. It's like, if I'm using, like I said, I don't use reference from my characters that I make up for Hood Character Mondays, but this one is different. So I'm using a reference. You want to make sure your reference is similar to the size of the paper that you're using. My iPad is, I think, the 10-inch. So, you could draw it to scale, or you can make it bigger or smaller. It depends on whatever you want to do. But I used it, an image, and I like expanded the image enough to where it looks like the same size of the paper, just to get it where, you know, where it would look accurate. Don't be so stressed if you don't get your art and your reference like a spitting image. Don't be so hard on yourself, you know what I mean? If you capture the likeness of someone or something that you're creating or recreating, that's all that matters, you know? I mean, there's a lot of people that I know draw really well, but they can't capture the essence of a person or the likeness of a person. That's what's more important, you know? But if you, look, kudos, hats off to you if you know how to replicate an image, you know? I can do it too, you know? Sometimes I just focus more on the likeness, though. I don't be too pressed. As you can see, I'm spending a lot of time on the sketch part, because I just, like I said, I wanted to get it perfect, very perfect. And I was going back and forth. I was just thinking back and forth, like, hey, do I want it to be like more, you know, do I want it to be more emphasized, like cartoon, or do I want it to be like realistic, you know? So I decided to go with like an in-between style, more realistic, but also, you know, cartoonized and more playful, but still, you know, with enough values to make it look like it's realistic, you know? So I'm just laying down the sketch more. I'm laying down the jersey, the necklace, or the chain. And right now I'm entering in the lines. I didn't really care too much about getting these super perfect. I just wanted to get it done and, you know, create it. Like I said, art is subjective. It's what you make it. If you want to be Mr. or Mrs. Perfect all day, then so be it. That's on you. You know, I'm just trying to show you guys how I do this, you know, and walk you guys through it and get you guys better. So you just want to continue to swivel your eyes back and forth. 5-second rule, that's what we call it. So you want to take every 5 seconds you want to look at your drawing, then back up to the reference. To the drawing, back to the reference, to the drawing, back to the reference, to the drawing, back to the reference, because you can get to a point where you're starting to draw what you think is there, and it's not actually there. So your hands are messed up, or your nose is messed up, or the shirt is not symmetrical, or the tattoos are not in the right place, or maybe you drew the eyes too big, or the mouth too small. You know, you want to remember that you're using a reference, so you have to respect the reference. So you have to try your best to draw from the image you're using, or screenshot, whatever you're using. Just try to get what you see down on the paper, okay? I want you, because a lot of times people get caught up on details, like, no, like, just get the gesture, get the likeness, and then you go back and fill in the details. Don't try to fill in the details first, you know? Especially, I mean, if you're drawing from life, the best practice, I would say, you know, if you're trying to get better at art, I would definitely suggest you draw from life. You know, go sit on a train. If you live in New York, wherever you live, like Chicago, I don't really care where you live. If you can sit on a bus, a train, or even if you are around your family or your loved ones, or your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your wife, your husband, your children. If you're a teacher and you teach children, you know, of any age, you know, daycare or high school, whatever, you know, if they're taking tests and you're a teacher and you're trying to be an artist, you can draw them while they're all testing, and just capture the energy of the room. You know, it's all about that, man. That's what makes a great artist, I feel, capturing the energy, the moment, you know, capturing what the image says, capturing what it makes you feel. You know, that's the important thing that a lot of people miss. They just want to draw well and replicate something and make it look just like that, but it's a dead image. You know, it sounds crazy. A lot of people don't think that can happen, but it can. And you ask, like, what? How do you capture likeness? Likeness comes from your approach. It comes from what you feel in the image and how you portray it. It's all about, capturing what that person's attitude is in real life. Like this particular image is a screenshot from a movie. If you've seen this movie, then you would know how this particular character or this individual carried himself. So you want to capture, if it's an angry person, you want to capture the anger, with mad, intensified expressions on his face or her face. A sad person, a depressed person, you want to capture it in their eyes. You want to make their eyes glassy, or, like they're about to cry, or a fat woman or a big guy. Like you want to give it life, and that's the biggest thing for me, moving forward in my life and my career as an artist, capturing the life of art, and making you feel something when you look at it. You know what I mean? Like, that's important to me. So, just these are just the steps. These are the things that I want you guys to think about when you're creating, whether it be digital painting or markers, So, as far as the drawing right now, I'm going over the sketch layer that I put down, and I'm going over it with the ink. I'm using the brush pen by Micron. It has like a number 1 on the top of the lid. It's only about $3. This is something that you can definitely find, at any art store. This one that I'm using, the end kind of got split, so it's giving me weird lines, in different areas, depending on how much pressure I'm putting down on the paper. I have to go get a new one for sure, but I just wanted it to be, where you could get an idea of where the wrinkles were. I didn't do too much, because sometimes you do too many wrinkles or try to show too much creases, it kind of looks a little tacky to me. It looks like a little forced. You want to give the Copic markers the opportunity to come in and fill in for the wrinkles or the creases, because then you won't be able to really show that, So, here I'm just filling in the pizza boxes, going over the fingers that are holding the boxes. Funny thing, I feel like these boxes were empty in the movie. Low key. And my signature, my halo, of course. This is probably the most perfect halo I've ever drawn, like, with marker. I'm pretty sure, like, this is the most perfect halo I've ever done. And it just comes with practice, you know what I'm saying? Like, just over and over, repetitive. We learn by repetition, and just touching up, the different, like the little, his hairline and stuff like that. And I had to add, like, the little creases on the corner of his mouth that make his mouth look like his, And, before I finished the boxes, I just went over this Dodgers logo. I did it really, 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 really carefully. I mean, I have the time-lapse speed up probably like 12 times, but you can definitely tell I took my time on that, because I don't just like to rush, I like to get it real perfect. I like to get it to where you can see what it says. You never want to rush on the words, and try to get it as clean as you can. Don't rush. You guys shouldn't be rushing your art. You shouldn't be rushing to finish. You should be taking your time. You should be trying to fill in what you see. There's different ways to simplify logos and simplifying designs on shirts. It just depends, You don't have to sit there and draw every single thing if you don't feel like it. You can just simplify it if you really don't feel confident in yourself at the time or at the moment, or if you generally don't have enough time. Like, you might be on a lunch break. You might be, I don't know. You might be doing something to where you don't have enough time to do it, but you just want to get that practice in because you love art that much. And I respect you if you do that. This step is where I'm removing the pencil that was under the marker. And as I remove it, you can see what's left. You can see my line work. You can see how much time I took on it. And you see that Dodgers logo look really, really clean. It's not perfect, but it looks really clean, So for starters, we want to lay down this E00. You asked me, why do you do that if he's a black guy and it looks like he's white or something else? The thing is, this layer is just the base, and also it plays as the light source too. So say if it was a shadow on the chin, or a shadow in the ear, or from the eyebrow, that protrusion that's over the eyes, to keep from precipitation and things like that. It creates a shadow in the eyelid and stuff like that, but there's a shine on the forehead, so you could keep that part uncolored and uncovered, and that could serve as a shine, or like a shadow or sweat if you feel like it, but also it's just a base. You want to just lay down a base. That's just a base coat, that's all. I know a lot of you guys are wondering, why do I do that if the person is darker or something like that. It's just a base. You always want to lay down a base. That's the point. I'm using E11 right now. These are the Chow markers. The Chow Copic markers. It's like a new marker that they have. It's more round. The oval shaped ones, the original ones, are called the Sketch Copic markers, but these are Chow. It's more round. They're a little easier to hold, to be honest. They're the same exact marker though. They have a chisel side and a sketch side. So you guys could do either or, but these are less expensive. They're about $30 for a pack of 5 instead of spending $57 or $47 for the pack of 5 of the sketch ones. It's up to you, depending on your budget. I'm filling in all the creases. I'm filling in any shadows, showing any definition of his face. This individual, if you figured it out by now, Spike Lee from the movie Do the Right Thing. Very legendary movie from the late 80s, early 90s. This is, just a very important figure in our culture, from the movies to the shoes, the Jordan, advertisements, everything. This guy is a legend, living legend. Just now, I'm just looking for where I could put any more values in. I kind of didn't take my own advice. I started to kind of like freestyle and not look at the image, because I kind of looked at the image so many times, when I watched the movie, and I started to realize, like, okay, I kind of remember how he looks, But then I caught myself and started looking back at the reference of the image, to just make sure everything is looking pretty cool and making sure it's accurate enough, Don't focus on perfection, people. Focus on practice. Practice every single day. You'll find your style. You'll get your skills right. It's a gradual process. It's eternal. I'm good at art, but I'm only going to grow and get better and better and better, because these Marker Mondays, are always being created for you guys and also for myself to stay consistent with markers, because I've made my name, with digital art, as you guys know, so I wanted to be an all-around artist instead of just a digital artist. Like, I'm not going to put myself in a box. I'm not going to limit myself. Why would I do that, And I don't know if that's what you want to do. That's on you. That's fine. No judging. But you want to be versatile. You want to be able to do everything, I'm using some grays just to show, where the 5 o'clock shadow was. It's usually, he usually has like a goatee if he's not acting, or just like later movies and things like that. He definitely kept a 5 o'clock shadow. He kept it shaved. So I used some N0, N2, N4. These are neutral colors. These are different shades of the neutral gray that I purchased. And I'm also using the neutral 2, N2, to color in some of the shadows to the white jersey. I wish that I had the cool gray markers, but I don't have those currently. These work just fine though. You could definitely do these as well. Just want to show where there's different lighting, wherever there's shadows at, you just want to hit it. The boxes are white as well, just like the jersey, and literally have the same exact shadow type. So I just used the N2 for the piece of boxes as well. Once again, still looking at the reference and still seeing where the shadows are appropriately placed. And now I'm using an N4 to darken it, show more values, show different shadows, and shade it properly. You just want to take your time, don't rush it. It's gonna blend. You can also purchase the blend marker. It's just like a mysterious looking, it looks like a mystery marker almost. It's literally like clear, and it has a 0 at the top, and you can find that anywhere. That is you can blend it with that if you feel like it, but I just usually use the lighter shade in between the dark shade and just blend it together like that. It's alcohol based, and it stretches if you allow it to. Now I'm using what is that? I think that was a E18, just to go into the darker parts. And like I said, I was just explaining, see how I used the E18, which is the darkest, and then I went back to blend it a little with the E11. You guys could easily do that too. If you don't have that 0, mystery blend marker, if you don't have that, feel free to, blend it with a lighter color that's in between the base and the shadow color that you're using. Yeah, right now I'm just working on the eyes. I used, I think it was a Y, some type of tan marker. Like I don't even remember buying it, but the eyeball is kind of like a cream color, has a red tint to it most times. I use that, and then I use the N4 and the N2 just to go in to show some shadow from the eyelid around the eye. Now I just added into the earring a little bit. I'm adding on to the lips a little bit, some pink, some brown, a little bit of white. I'm using it's like a gel pen, so I'm going in to show like some shine. The movie was filmed on quote unquote the hottest day of the summer, so I got them showing, I got them sweating a little bit to show some character. Yeah, you make them look a little sweaty, Just filling in the chain a little bit. It's more like a leather chain. It was a lot of those going around. I remember Martin used to wear those too. I always thought those were tight. I never had one. Filling in the Dodgers logo that I created, that I outlined with the one brush. This is just a royal blue, your basic royal blue. Filled it in real clean. Now moving on to the final step, halo. Using that yellow. It's a really nice yellow. Went back through it with some browns just to show, the inside of the ring, the halo of it. Yep. E18, E15 to be specific. My word bubble, of course, my signature, and then my actual. Just wanted to add some little creases into the boxes, give it a little bit more character. Erase it a little bit. Thought I was done. Put my signature, and now we done. That's it. Thanks for watching. Bless.